Uh, Here with Concordia head baseball coach Ryan Dupic to preview the 2026 season as we record this a few weeks away, I guess, from the first official game of this new season. Last season was kind of a continuation of recent success with another 40-win year, a GPAC championship, and an opportunity to host opening round at the national tournament. I know this is going to be a different team from the one that ended the year in Lincoln last year. What have you maybe enjoyed about this off season and kind of building up this new team?
Yeah, it feels like it's a new group, so it feels, in a way like you're kind of starting fresh in a way. But I think, to be fair, there's a lot of investment that players have had from the previous teams and last year's team, and even the teams before that have left us in a place where hopefully we're a little bit farther along in some of the sort of expectations of the program. And now it's just a new group of people, so it's a lot of people who have. There's a lot of new opportunities out there. There's a lot of guys that have a chance to go take advantage of things, and so we're excited to welcome back a lot of returners and some guys that have been really productive and some guys that have been waiting for some opportunities, and we're excited to welcome in a lot of newcomers in this group, and we have a lot of new players, so it's going to be really fun just to see how it kind of meshes together. It's an exciting challenge. It's a fun group. I really like the people, so we're looking forward to getting this thing started.
Just building on that, I know it's still very early. You've had a chance to, I guess, get into official practice, bringing the guys back a little bit before the semester began. What are some of your early impressions of what you've seen?
I think the highlight's the weather. We played outside, day one, and we were outside day three, and we got outside a couple of days this week on the football field, but we got onto a baseball field in the first week. We've never had that before, so that was really exciting. And I think this team has a chance to be pretty good on the mound. I think there's some, obviously we have some pitchers and some experience back in that area. We lost some really good ones too, to be fair, but we have some guys back that have a little bit of a history and have gotten the taste of what it's like. And I think the position player group is largely a newer group, and so we do still have some guys back with Jaden Jordan and Bronx Lewis and some of those types of guys that have been a part of this before. So it's a mixture. It's not brand new. I think that's the comforting thing. We got a lot of guys who I feel like have been through this before and are going to do a good job. And I think the other thing is we're just trying to process all these new guys and what that will look like. But we like them, and they're great kids, and they're working super hard.
Along with that, the last year you were replacing the outfield. Now it's the whole infield. Are you kind of beginning to see guys take ownership of those positions? Just how satisfied are you right now with that area of your team, even though it's early? Yeah,
we do. I think Jaden Jordan has transitioned to second base. He's doing a really solid job there. That's kind of more of, frankly, what his initial position was when he came in, but we just had Ty at that spot. So he's done a good job there. I think Jake Tyler's becoming very comfortable at shortstop, so I think that's something that we're getting a better sense for. We've unfortunately had some injuries with a few positions, and third base is one of them, so we're still kind of navigating that a little bit and getting a little bit of a feel for what that could look like. But third base, first base has some various options. I think we'll see a mixture of guys playing and competing up there, and same thing at the catcher position. So it's definitely a new group, but it's an eager group and a bunch of guys who are excited to get out there and play.
I think this time last year we were talking about how the home runs might drop off a little bit, and then you go and hit 96 as a team last year. Certainly you're replacing more power guys from last year. What do you think the makeup of this lineup will be like, kind of stylistically?
Yeah, it's a great question. I still think it's a team that will be able to drive the baseball. I don't know that it will necessarily do it at the level that we have in the previous 4 to 5 years. But I don't think we're going to hit 15 or 20 home runs only. I think we're still going to be a team that can drive the ball. Maybe it'll be more doubles at times. Maybe it'll be more home runs at times. We're pressing into obviously some of the other areas of the game offensively as well to try to be well-rounded. But I still think as a core foundation, we want to try to win at-bats and win pitches. And that's still where the bulk of our training is going to be. I think there's plenty of players that are going to have a chance to do a really nice job on that. But I think the most fascinating thing about this stuff is, the older I get, the more I feel like you don't really know what's going to happen, if you're going to be really honest. I think Brad Halleck hit like 8 to 10 home runs as a junior, and then he hit 20-some as a senior. And we thought Brad would be better, but we didn't think he's going to hit 20-some home runs. So you just don't know this stuff, and until you really just keep training them and getting them out there and playing, and guys get a better feel for things, and sometimes things can unlock in a really short period of time, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time. So it's really just a process of staying with it, and we're just trying to be present and keep getting a little bit better and keep learning about our team and about our people and going from there.
You already mentioned Jaden Jordahl. How important is he to this team as somebody who's proven himself as a first-team all-conference player last year?
Very, very important. Jaden's is so dependable. I mean, he's a guy that his skills are really scalable. They don't. He's kind of immune to a lot of super high lows because he makes good swing decisions. His bat-to-ball skills are really good. The main thing with him is just keep him healthy. We had bouts last year with hamstring stuff or leg stuff, so keeping him healthy, I think, is a really big deal. But yeah, it's super comforting to know that you have somebody who's been through it a little bit and has shown that ability to perform at a high level. And we think he's going to have an excellent year this year.
Are there other position players you think are worth mentioning that have really made progress, or is it still kind of a process?
Yeah, I think a couple of obviously Bronx Lewis is one. He was out for a little bit of the fall with an injury, and that was super unfortunate. But he got a whole season of at-bats under his belt last year, and I really think he's capable of a lot of great things. And there's some newcomers, I think, that are going to have a chance to push into some things. Guys like Andrew Fetty, who I think was kind of feeling things out and getting a sense for stuff in the fall. And since he's come back in the second semester here, he's looked pretty sharp. Carson Burnett is a transfer player that I think is going to do some really good things. I think Luke Wilson is a really good player. He's going through a little bit of an injury right now, but he's coming back. Super diligent kid, tremendous worker, great leader, works really hard. Like, he's going to be there, and he's going to find a way to compete. So there's a lot of guys I think that are going to be in that mix, and it's kind of fun to go in and feel like you have some options and just sort of see how that settles as we get to the beginning portion of the season.
Shifting to pitching-wise, wanted to start with the rotation. Certainly Alex Johnson and Micah Sweeten are guys that were in that rotation last year. How are things coming together with that? How huge is it that Alex decided to come back for another year?
Yeah. I mean, that was the best recruitment news we could have had by far. We were looking at it and thinking, man, it'd be nice to find an impactful arm, this summer as we got to looking at transfers and such. But when you get one of your own to come back and somebody who's that good and who's been part of the program, that was obviously the biggest boost we could have had. So Alex looks better than he did a year ago. At this time last year, I think sometimes it's easy to forget, he was still kind of in his return to throw process from Tommy John surgery. So we felt like it was going pretty good, but we still actually didn't know at this point last year. And he was pretty far along with it, but it's still, especially when we look back in November, he was, I shouldn't say this point last year, but it was more November, December, he was in more of the return to throw stuff. In January was when he finally started to get back into it. But in November, we had notes where he was, still throwing, 70 to 75 miles an hour just in a controlled type setting, trying to build himself back up. And this year, he's just so much farther along at that time in the off season. So I think he looks better, honestly, and we're super excited for him. I think Micah's better. He's a better pitcher. He's a more experienced, more mature kid. He's always a mature kid in terms of his character. I mean, you're not going to find a better kid, but I think he's more competitively mature. He's learning more about himself, and he's got a whole another year under his belt. So Caden Bogarski's another guy that I think is going to be super helpful. He's another one like Alex that was returning from surgery, but is a guy that I think has a chance to have a really, really nice year. And he's still kind of building back into things a bit, so it could be a little bit slow initially, but I think he'll be really big for us. And we have a couple of transfer guys that I think are going to be in the mix there. Sam Bespiazny and Warren Rose, both the guys that are, Sam is a little bit like a Christian Gutierrez, kind of a pitchability righty that knows how to pitch, and Warren's a big lefty with pretty good stuff. So I feel like we have options there. I think Braxton and Christian Gutierrez were so good. They're so reliable. There's a big hole there to fix, but at the same time, we felt blessed. I mean, sometimes I think we've been pretty blessed around here with some incredible baseball players, but if we're going into a season, we're talking about having a rotation of Alex Johnson, and Micah Sweeten, Caden McGarsky, and Sam Bespiazzi and Warren Rose. We're in pretty good shape. I mean, when it's all said and done, those guys are good competitive kids, and they have a chance to be very, very successful. And we just got to keep getting them better and go from there.
And kind of interesting, you still have two guys that trace back to the World Series team of 2021. But moving on to the bullpen, Dayton Schmidt was a preseason All-American, so was Alex Johnson. But can you give a little bit of a synopsis of the bullpen and how things are coming together there?
I think we have a chance to have a great bullpen. Bullpen's another place, at the professional level, it's really volatile. You see highs and lows of that. You can see that in college sometimes, but again, at this point last year, you look at Dayton Schmidt in the offseason, he was kind of in controlled throwing, trying to get healthy, trying to feel good. Have a super good friend of mine, a kid I used to coach, who really notified me about Dayton, and when he was playing at Iowa Central, and he had reached out to me in November, December, and I said, I think he's going to help us. He can give us 10 to 15 good quality innings, kind of middle relief type, and then he's a first-team all-conference reliever. You just don't always see this stuff, and I think we have some guys that have a chance to do that. I'm really excited about Dayton. He's much healthier. He's feeling good. He's a good, consistent kid. I'm really excited about Sam Ramajan and DJ Anderson. I think those two guys have a chance to be elite bullpen arms. Sam was the first reliever we brought out in the national tournament last year. You look at his numbers from a year ago. He had a couple outings early that kind of blow your numbers up when you're a reliever without high volume. But he was good, and I think he's better right now than he was a year ago. DJ Anderson was really, really good for us early, and then kind of unfortunately got hurt. So as long as we can keep him healthy, I think he's another guy that has a chance. And then there's a whole list of other guys. One thing I think this team has a chance to have as a strength is that I think the pitchers near sort of the back part of the depth chart have a lot higher ceilings than perhaps we may have had in the last couple of years. So I think there's some guys there that can kind of come out of nowhere. Alex Grease is an example of a guy who did that last year. And there's a number of newcomer type guys or freshmen that I think have a chance to get in the mix. So I'm really excited about that group. I think it's going to take a little bit of time to get it to formulate. But I think by the time we get to March or April, we could be pretty good in that group if we can keep everybody healthy and keep them getting better.
A lot of guys on the team the last several years have made comments about the strong culture and environment in the team. How do you continue to have that when you bring in, I think, around 30 newcomers? How is that shaping up with this team?
Yeah, I think, first and foremost, you just got to recruit really good people. There's not magic pills to that. We emphasize it within our coaching staff in the recruitment process. Everybody's going to say that, but I think recruits would probably tell you that, comparatively speaking, we probably spend a little bit more time getting to know them and sort of vetting through the process with them when we're selecting. But I also think, when you're a newcomer and you come into our program, most people are going to sort of dip their toe in the water and try to get a feel of what's going on around them. And what you sense and what you feel from our people are guys that are just so welcoming and invite people in to be a part of us so quickly that I think it just makes puts everything at ease and makes them feel really comfortable. And that's a huge strength of this program. And I'll forget about people when I start naming guys, but when I think about guys like Alex Johnson and Zach Day and Bronx Lewis and all these upperclassmen that we have, they are genuinely great people. They're not good kids, they're great kids. And I think they welcome guys in exceptionally well. And all those guys, it's not just them, but they do such a tremendous job of making this a welcoming environment, a place that guys enjoy being, that I think it kind of breaks down some of the barriers faster, and we can get to that truth faster and try to get better and help guys enjoy their experience.
Just lastly, we joke about or we talk about you can't really replace Joey Grabansky and Jaden Quinn and Jay Adams when those guys leave, but is there a lasting impact that they have even after they're gone out from the program?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lasting impact of what they accomplished, but there's also an impact of who they were. You think about that with a guy like Jaden Quinn, who was obviously just an incredible player, but people saw that Jaden Quinn worked really hard, and Ty Nikolajczyk was a great player, and people saw that Ty worked really hard. And that whole class was that way. Like Brad Halleck, the discipline that he had, and people like Tanner Tompkins and the growth that guys like Mike Welch have, they see that. There's a lot of players in our program now who have no idea who those people are, but indirectly, they're still being impacted by those people because those people impacted the ones that come back. They know and see and understand that this is how we try to do it. And so those guys, they leave really lasting legacies that goes beyond what they did as players, even though what they did as players was really exceptional.
Okay, I wanted to hit you with some quick questions that
right.
I've been giving to some athletes as well.
All right.
But do you have a superstition or a game day ritual that you have to go through?
That's a good one. Yeah, I think I write the lineup card in exactly the same way when I try to think about substitutions and things of that nature. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Boy, other than that, I don't know that I have a game day ritual after that. No, I think I try to write and line things up the exact same way.
Alex Johnson said when things aren't going bad, he likes to kick the foul line because you're not supposed to touch.
That is very Alex Johnson.
Line.
That's very Alex Johnson to say that. He will do whatever. Alex is such a tremendous kid, but he's also got this a little bit of contrarian in him that I really like, and so that does not surprise me at all.
It's the most recent TV show or movie that you've watched.
Okay. Let's see. So my wife and I, we've been watching some shows on Netflix. My focus is not as high as it ought to be, so I can't even think of what some of the shows are.
Stranger Things?
Yeah, no, it's not that.
That
I couldn't even tell you. It feels like every time we go home right now, The Office or Friends is on for whatever. That would be the one that I think I watch shows in the spring that it's like I have them on in the background. And so you're kind of watching them, but if you miss it, it doesn't matter because your mind's kind of focused on doing other things. I think that's where I'm at right now.
It's baseball season.
That's right. That's right.
If you could pick a singer or a band to play in the stadium here, who would you choose?
Probably Pearl Jam for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure your players will relate to
that. They
right?
probably most of them may have no idea. I don't know. Yeah.
What do you enjoy most about kind of the Christmas break, the holiday season?
Yeah, I think everybody would say spending time with family, but I think that's especially the case for me. My boys are 9 and 6. Once the season starts, maybe you don't get to see them quite as much as you'd like to. So we spent a ton of time together as a family. We took a trip out to Branson with my wife's side. That was really fun. Went back to Iowa, for my side. So I think just lots of time with family was really great.
Favorite professional sports team or athlete?
Yeah, I'd say the Atlanta Braves, and I was a Chipper Jones guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a hidden talent?
No. Wait, yeah, like I would say computing numbers in my head maybe, like math stuff. Pretty quick at like doing multiplication, addition, things of that nature. That'd probably be the best one.
It probably started with baseball stats,
did. It actually
right?
did, yeah.
Last thing, hobby outside of baseball?
I would say, being connected to and being involved with people, whether it's through church or we're starting a small group or things of that nature is fun. And then, but other than that, it's just playing with my boys, playing baseball with my kids in the backyard or things of that nature is where I really find my joy.